Yo, good morning. Welcome to the snipe session. Yes, finding our best bets today in the NBA. Only 4 games. I tell you what, I gotta be very honest with you about something. The NBA scheduling kind of sucks. There used to be a time where you'd have like consistent 7, 8, 9 game slates, whatever it may be. And now you got like a 12 gamer and then a 4 gamer and a 5 gamer, then a 12 gamer and then 4 and 5. They could do a whole lot better than they are. But here we are. It's cool. A lot of boosts out there today. You guys already know who have watched this on X, how we do it. I'm going live now to YouTube as well. I figured why not? But we've been doing this show for a while over on X, the snipe session, going back to last season, building out some boosted parlays across all of these books, taking advantage of that, putting ourselves in a position to make money when we win. You know, a lot of people say putting ourselves in a position to win. It's like, yeah, everyone's trying to do that. But we put ourselves in a position where when we have a good day, we're having a much better day because we're boosting these parlays and we're already throwing plus EV legs into all of these to begin with. So that's all that matters, right? That's what we're trying to do. We want to build good parlays with plus EV legs, and then we want to boost them to make them even better with even greater expected value. That's our goal. That's the game plan. Glad to have you here. And as always, hey, if you don't mind, if you're over watching this one on X, hit me with a quote tweet, or even, you know what, even a like or a repost would do just fine. I appreciate all of that. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It's 100% free to do. Yeah, I took this shirt out of the drawers today. I got to put this fucker back in the dryer. I'm looking at myself on the screen. I mean, that's a wrinkly shirt right there. We're going to have to go to the screen share to minimize myself so I don't look like I just rolled out of bed. We're out of Skid Row. Anyway, Michael Peterson, what's up, brother? Glad to see you here. Happy to have all you guys hanging out, and thank you for the support as always. We'll have some fun today. As I mentioned all the time, we like to bet parlays here for 2 reasons. One, we know that we can make a plus EV parlays, and we know that we can put ourselves in a good spot. 2, it can give us more longevity on our accounts. Not enough people talk about the educational aspect and value of all of betting. And the one thing that's really important is if you are betting plus EV stuff, the books are going to limit you. If you're getting closing line value, they're going to limit you and tell you we don't want you here anymore. And you're going to ask them why, and they're going to say, well, our trading team doesn't really give us that information, but they send it down to the top that we are not allowing you to have any boosts anymore, and your limits are $5. It's like the Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? It is. It's straight out of the Wizard of Oz. Where they're like, no one talks to the trading team. The trading team talks to us. And you're not like, it's some just kind of ominous entity that exists, but we don't know who or where they are or if they're even real. That's who they are. And we don't want to encounter them. So when you parlay these things, it makes it harder for them to identify closing line value. That's one of the reasons we do it. Also, it gets us to boost. And I'll give you one more reason. It's fun. They're more fun, man. It's more fun to sweat parlays, especially when we can put ourselves in good spots. So let's do all of that here today, and we'll build them out. We'll do FanDuel, we'll do DraftKings, we'll do Bet365. One thing to point out, mostly all, unfortunately, same-game parlays for this one, which kind of sucks. When I talk about same-game parlays, I mean the boosts that are being offered to us. I looked at Bet365, I looked at FanDuel, I looked at at DraftKings. They're all same-game parlays, probably because it's only 4 games today, but we can make that work. We can make it work. Oh, we can also build out some regular parlays too. And I actually wanted to start with FanDuel here. FanDuel, one of the sharper rec books out there. I'm not saying it's the sharpest book in the world, but as far as rec books are concerned, it's definitely sharper than most. So what I like to do using the Stokastic prop tool, and you guys know that we love to showcase the prop tool on this because it's been good to us. One of the things I like to do here, and I got a lot of DMs yesterday when I was talking about the blend that I like to use. So with this prop tool, it's a little bit different than what we have over at OddsShopper. It's different than, honestly, it's different than what you're going to see pretty much everywhere because you can blend top-down projections with our origination projections over from Stokastic. The same projections that, have won people many millions of dollars. Wouldn't mind if I won $1 million with these tools. Hasn't happened. But you take that, and now you can blend the origination projections, and the market projections. And people have been asking me, well, what blend should I be using? Is there a specific blend that I should use? Good morning, Dr. Queso. Good to see you, brother. One of the answers, really the answer that I always give, and I don't know if this is 100% right, but to me, intuitively, it makes sense. I'm going to adjust the blend of these projections, and we're going to get into the bets right now, but I'm going to adjust the blend of these projections based off of the book. So if I'm on a book that we perceive and essentially we know to be sharper, I'm going to move the stochastic origination projection higher. If it's a book that I know is soft, like Bet365, not only are they super soft, but they're slow to move. We killed them this NFL season, right? Like we had an awesome NFL season betting those boosted parlays, which is probably why myself and you are still able to bet there in the first place, because we were just grabbing NFL parlay. But they're so soft that it works in your favor. If it's Bet365, I want to move the projection weight a little bit higher and bring it to like 50-50, because they're so far off from the rest of the market that we would be dumb not to try and capitalize on their own inefficiencies within their pricing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Very, very simple way to look at it. But to me, it makes a lot of sense. And well, that's how we're going to do it. But let's go FanDuel first. I like to go 70-30 here with this blend. We're going to go 70-30 on FanDuel, see if we can find some spots that we like. If we can find a good same game parlay, we're going to do it. I typically would say we don't want to ever force anything, but when you get a 30% boost, you can boost it to a plus EV spot anyway. Like it's still going to be a long-term profitable bet. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't think we're going to have any issues with this here because you've got the Kawhi Leonard spot already popping up, over 6.5 rebounds in that Clippers game against Golden State. You've got Darius Garland here as another spot. Right there under 4.5 assists. These are 2+ money spots though, so maybe we want to, take a little bit off that. You have Draymond Green under 4.5 assists at plus 122. So there are going to be opportunities out there for us to see game parlay this. Keith Santos under 13.5 points. That's another one that's pretty good. One thing too that we want to be cognizant of is how many of these actually align with our market projection, right? With the true odds. For example, this Draymond Green spot plus 122, true odds plus 125. Not bad. We got the projection at 4.5 assists. They're getting the under at plus 122. That looks fine. None of these are all that far off, but oftentimes I'm not trying to grab something that's just like super off the market. On FanDuel, sometimes you have to, just because you're going to have to rely on the origination projection, on the stochastic projections. Because again, FanDuel's typically pretty sharp in that respect. So let's throw Santos in here first, right? Fella just got a contract. Let's throw Santos in under 13.5 points against the Clippers. I should also point out too that there are some serious blowout risks in some of these games today. In case you haven't looked at the 4 spreads, one of them, this game is a 1.5 point spread, so it should stay competitive. The Bucks are 7.5 point home dogs against the Celtics, despite the Celtics playing their second back-to-back today. The Wizards are 15.5 point home dogs to the Rockets, and the Jazz are 11.5 point home dogs against the Denver Nuggets. So, let's not pretend there isn't some real blowout risk here today. There absolutely is, but that is not going to preclude us from getting some bets in. Also, a lot of times with unders, it can work to your advantage. If there is a blowout situation and the Stars are not playing the final quarter, it's great. Or they're just so good in the first 3 quarters that it doesn't matter, and the under is crushed midway through the 3rd quarter. It can go both ways. So I typically don't tend to worry too much about blowout risk because blowouts are misleading. You know what I mean? If there's a blowout and you're up by 40 going into the 4th, well, you had to have done something pretty good to go up by 40 going into the 4th quarter. Unless the defense was just electric. But you get my point here. All right. So Kawhi Leonard over 6.5 rebounds. We'll plug this one in as well. Who knows? Maybe we'll even go to overtime and he'll get it for us there. But plug Kawhi Leonard in. Now, does this need to be a three-legger on FanDuel? That's the first thing we want to look at. Because yesterday we placed two-leggers. They both lost, but that's going to happen. And you can bet these straight from here. So if you hit this, place two straight bets, you guys already know. You can just load them straight into your bet slip. So what I want to see is, can we get both of these into the boost? I believe it's a 25% boost today. Can we get both of these into the boost without having to go with a three-leg parlay? Now, if you want to, you can add any of these that you want to the parlay. They're up on the screen. This is a premium tool, but I try to give you guys as much access to it in front of the paywall each day as I can, because, you know, why the hell not? But ultimately, you're going to want to get at least two here. Otherwise, they're not going to even allow it. So we got Kawhi in there. I'm just adding these bets up on my phone to see if we can make this work. And then who do we go? Guy Santos under on points. Will they let us use the boost for this? I can't see if it's two or three legs because I already opted in. Now it's going to be three legs. We need one more leg. Let's go. Let me refresh this if there's any others that stick out. Garland under 4.5 assists. Draymond Green. I kind of like the Draymond spot here, to be honest with you. Draymond under 4.5 assists. If we add that spot in as well, we're going to get a good number here. We're going to be able to boost it, and can't really ask for much more than that. We got 2+ money spots here, so clearly this bet is going to lose a lot more often than it wins. But one thing I was thinking about the other day when I had these questions popping up, when I boost that, by the way, I get it to 7-1. I just placed it. That's Kawhi Leonard over 6.5 boards. Guy Santos under 13.5 points. Draymond Green under 4.5 assists. That gets us to 7-1 in this same game parlay. One thing I was thinking about today when I saw this conversation popping up on Twitter about people saying how unimportant you say sound is going out? It shouldn't be. Hold on. Maybe it's shouldn't be going out. I mean, my audio is plugged in. Everything is the way it typically is. Let me see what mic. Yeah, should be okay. I appreciate you letting me know, but it might be a YouTube thing. You could check it on Twitter and see if that's any different. But one that I had questions about the other day, and I saw people saying how closing line value isn't important. And I started thinking about, like, man, forget about thinking in the sense of, oh, I'm going to win this bet more often, right? You get closing line value, you get in at something at -110 and it closes at -140. What about, instead of thinking about it in terms of I'm going to win this bet more, or I should win this bet more often, what if you started thinking about it as I need to win this bet less often to profit? Do you know what I mean? Because if you get in at -110 instead of -140, you need to win the bet less times to profit. So then that shifts your train of thought. Like, oh, wow, it didn't win today and didn't win yesterday and it won't win tomorrow. Like, closing line value is just bullshit. Well, if you take that approach and you go, all right, wait a second. If I'm getting, and this goes as far as like the same as shopping odds and the same as boosting parlays too. You boost something from 5-1 to 7-1, you need to win it a whole lot less. So if you have something at same problem on Twitter, I wonder if it's a StreamYard thing. Maybe it'll clear up. But if you have something at -110, you need to win it a little over 52% of the time to break even. Well, if you had gotten it at -140, you need to win that over 58% of the time to break even. So it's just a numbers game. That's all it is. It's simply just a numbers game. And if you consider it like that, every time you boost something, all that matters is the number you're getting at, not whether it's going to win or not. I mean, our buddy, and you know him as well, I'm sure Ben Rassa will tell you, like, he'll boost a parlay on a sport that he knows nothing about. He'll go in, he'll shop the odds and find the best odds somewhere, make sure that on that book he's already getting the best odds originally before boosting it, then boost it. And he knows he's placing a bet, even though he knows nothing about the players of the team or the sport that we're discussing. So that's something to keep in mind when you're doing any of this stuff. So that's our FanDuel bet. We'll go over to Bet365. And one thing I want to show you guys in Bet365, I think we're going to use Portfolio EV for this. If you're asking why, I'm happy to tell you. We can use the prop tool as well, because what I can do is I can come in here and go into this, get rid of FanDuel here, go to Bet365, apply this, and then take this custom blend down to like 40% projection, stochastic projection, 60% market projection. Now we're getting a great blend where we know the market is in our favor. Check this out. You want to see how powerful this is? Price sensible. Under 2.5 threes at even money, the market projection is minus 130. The true odds on this are minus 130. That's insane. Al Horford, under 8.5 rebounds and assists at even money, minus 125. That's why I parlay things on Bet365. And you know, I lost every parlay on Bet365 yesterday. I only had 3 of them. Today's my daughter's birthday. We went out and did some stuff with her yesterday. But I lost them all. I don't care, right? You're going to have days where you lose these parlays, but at least it keeps your account healthy and you know that you can attack these type of lines. In what world would we ever want to give up this type of value and say, you know what, I don't want to bet here anymore? You do what you can to protect these things, right? Like Ace Bailey under 1.5 threes at plus 155, the true odds plus 131. Look at all of them. Realistically, we should be betting every single one of them. Every single one. And I'll tell you what, we've got a same game parlay over on Bet365. We should absolutely be taking advantage of this one too. It's a 30% boost. This is even money. The true odds are minus 130. Throw Bryce Sensabaugh in there. Okay, let me remove this Draymond Green one. And then let's toss Al Horford. Or no, I'm sorry. The Nikola Jokic under 10.5 assists in there as well. Another game with significant blowout risk, as I mentioned earlier, 11.5 points spread. You can go Julian Strawther here, under 4.5 rebounds and assists. That's another spot. Ace Bailey. I don't know if you want to do that. Let's see if there's one more spot we really like. Filipowski under 8.5 rebounds, minus 125. That number lines up. We need one more for this one. We're not going to go rebound because it's going to nuke the odds on it. It's going to kill us. I kind of want to go Julian Strawther here, under 4.5, plus 115. You go in and you take something like this, right? So the uncorrelated odds, right? Let's just assume that every one of these bets was independent of each other, in that they weren't correlated, right? The Sensabaugh, the Jokic bet, the Strawther bet. Let's just assume that all of those were independent. The odds that you should be getting there are plus 714 on Bet365. Now, of course, they're going to force us, to parlay these to get the boost to same game parlay, and what's going to happen is we're not going to get nearly as good of odds. That's fine because we're going to take advantage of the boost. Once you take advantage of this boost, our break-even point changes dramatically, and that's why we do this. Plus, we already know that from the market projection, right, from the true odds, that we're getting a really good bet. Like if you took this same bet on DraftKings or FanDuel, one of you guys wouldn't mind. Can one of you guys go and plug this exact bet in on DraftKings and FanDuel and pop in the chat and let me know what the odds are? Whether it's in YouTube or on X, pop into DraftKings or FanDuel. Place this exact same, or don't place it. Put this exact same game parlay unboosted into your bet slip and let me know what it is. Bryce Sensabaugh under 3.5. Most of my mic's going in and out. Evan too. Hold on. Let me try this. Tell me if it's any different. Tell me if I'm still good here or not. Because I think honestly it might be a YouTube. I'm not sure. because I've had the same mic for a while and I've never had any issues with it. I'm not sure what it is. Nah, everything's plugged in. Anyway, I appreciate you guys letting me know. But plug this exact one in. Let me see what the odds are there. I'm going to plug this thing over on Bet365, and we're going to see exactly what the difference is. Number one, just as a simple example, is what these odds should be compared to what they are, and what we can get it to with the boost, right? So the Jokic spot, under 10.5 assists. We're going to go Bryce Sensabaugh under 1.5 threes. And again, in all likelihood, this doesn't win. But once you get out of your head that every parlay should win, you're going to start having a lot more success. As that might sound, one day you'll realize it's entirely true. What was this one? Start the rebounds in assists, right? Under 4.5. Okay. It's actually plus 120 now over on Bet365. So that's at plus 6. Okay, that's plus 650. Now you boost that by 30%. And what happens? You're taking the plus 650 to plus 845. You place that bet every day of the week, hands down. That's a $20 bet to return 189. Beautiful. Just locked that one in as well. All right, so we got FanDuel locked in. We got Bet365 locked in. Now we go draft. We got to boost it though. But man, these Bet365 numbers, like the moment this show's over, I'm just going to go in and start jamming as many of these as I can. I'll plug them in as 2-leg parlays. That's what I'll do. Plug these in as 2-leg parlays and get us to where we need to go. By the way, you guys ever want to check any of these tools out? Any of these tools out? You want to check them out for yourself? Link in the description. Use Loughy 15. Get 15% off any week or month of the Stokastic prop tool. 15% off. It's a big discount straight up the top. That gets you all of the tools that we've been talking about, right? The ability to come in and customize the play for any book that you're on. To use our, honestly, like world-renowned DFS projections to bet props. Use our true odds, our market projection, from Portfolio ED over at OddsShopper. Combine the two. And if you know the sport, you can come in and edit the rates of these players, and you can see the EV on any of these bets you want. A lot you can do with this tool. It's a really cool tool. And here's a little teaser for you. NHL was just released, but MLB is coming soon, baby. We're going to have NFL as well. I could not be more excited about that. About MLB and NFL, the two sports that I know for a lot of you guys who hang out with me during baseball and football season, like just nothing better than that, man. Nothing better. So Loughy 15 will get you 15% off any of that. Make sure to do so if you want to check these tools out for yourself. And of course, if you ever have questions, all you got to do is shoot me a DM. Shoot me a DM. Hey, what are you doing? How do I do it with this book? Is there any suggestions or recommendations to, lessen that learning curve for me? I got you covered. Loughy 15, LOUGHY 15% off any week of the prop tool over at Stokastic. All right, let's go to DraftKings. See if we got anything good. Now, I do want to change this projection a little bit and blend to about 60-40 origination projections. Like I said, Bet365, typically you want more of a top-down approach. Not total top-down approach, but more of a top-down approach, just to get yourself in a spot where we can really take advantage of those off-mark odds that they have on pretty much every single bet. All right. So we need same-game parlay here to take advantage of the 30% boost. There's a few spots that we could get to. Here's the thing. We already grabbed Jokic. We already took, and by the way, those are better odds than on Bet365. That's just, we already grabbed Kawhi Leonard over on FanDuel. The Ryan Rollins spot looks okay. Darius Garland under 5.5 assists. I don't hate the idea of going there. You know, you pay more for the 5.5, obviously, minus 151. True odds at minus 142, pretty much in line. That's not bad at all. We could plug that one in. Question though is, do we get any other same game parlay action here? Because if not, if there's nothing we really like, I may just be more inclined to go with a regular parlay, knowing that we're already getting something good here. I think that's probably what we do. Unless you guys have anything that you would rather get to. Mike, can you post an NHL same game parlay on the early hockey game on Twitter, please? Yeah, if there's any plus EV bets that pop up, I'd be happy to do that. More than happy to do that for you. What time is the game at? I mean, we have the NHL tool right here. Is it 2 o'clock in the afternoon? The thing with the same game parlays, though, for hockey is that you really want to be able to understand the line combinations and everything, right? Because you don't want to just be, and I'm admittedly not a hockey bettor, but I use these tools to bet it. If you're betting same game parlays in hockey, like you don't want to be betting the over on one guy and the under on the other guy, and they're like on points or something, and they're both on the same power play. Like that's the last thing you want to do. I'm curious to see if there's anything here. Sure, we can find something. Mishkov. Should we? Maybe not the early game, but you know, as a Philly fan myself, I don't hate the idea. I don't hate the idea of going with some Philly action here. That could be fun. Against Toronto. I'll post that on Tails, I think. I'll post that on Tails because it looks like we've got some good bets for this slate of games today. Yeah, I'll post that over on Tails. Just, you know what to do. You know how to come find me. Most of you guys probably already have it. If you haven't, just go to tails.bet, follow me. I post free bets from the props tool and from start money spots using the arbitrage tool every single day over here. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure to head over to Tails. Just give me a follow. All of these are free bets. And you can see all of the other people. Our boy Lindy, Ben, Ed Zone, these guys are super sharp. Come over there and follow and tail those guys. So that's a good way to go about it. But anyway, let's go to DraftKings here for NBA. See what we can find. There's got to be a decent spot. We're going to go 3-leg parlay. And I always bet these guys, just so you know. Anything I post on here, I bet myself. I never post anything that I'm not betting myself. Because then what type of asshole am I, you know? Let's go. It's kind of a shitty slate, right? But let's go. All right, here's a good one. Should we go Benedict Mathurin over 5.5 rebounds? A lot of plus money spots out there today. And Kevin Porter Jr. under 1.5 threes. I think this is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna avoid the same game parlay. So we got Clippers Warriors, we got Boston Milwaukee. We had a number of big parlays last week. Not on Friday though, and not on Sunday, so it's time to get back on track. Clippers, Golden State. We got Boston, Milwaukee. So now we grab something from Denver, Utah. We already bet that Jokic one. What if we go? Plenty of good spots here. We could go Jaylen Brown under 7.5 rebounds, second of a back-to-back here. I don't hate the idea of that. Let's do that. Let's go Benedict Mathurin over 5.5 boards, right? We're going to go Kevin Porter Jr. under 1.5 threes. And then we're going to go Jaylen Brown under 7.5 rebounds. These are all independent odds. So that's plus 473. DraftKings, sucks when it comes to actually giving us decent boosts for spots that aren't same-game parlays. But this will still put us in a good spot. Well, plus 473. We only have 4 games today. So there's only so much we can really work with. But I like all of these spots quite a bit. And I think, and let me just make sure, sometimes you can kind of sneak in a boost. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. 30. I was wrong. 30% all-purpose boost gets us to plus 585. All right. Sweet. Plus 585. We just turned that if from a good bet into a much better bet. Boom. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM. We're locked in. I'll post a bunch more of these details throughout the day. All right. A bunch more of these details throughout the day. And then, as always, you guys want to check these tools out, just use Loughy 15. Stokastic.com. You see it right there. Any NBA prop tools, weekly or monthly, and whenever you have questions, I want you to. I'm not telling you, or I'm not asking you, or saying you can. I'm saying I want you to hit me up if you have any questions, because I want people to be profitable with these tools. I want people to love using these tools. Right? I want people to see these tools and love using them. Because when you do, then you're going to figure out more creative ways to be profitable with them. And that's just really all you need when it comes to basketball. And I'll tell you one more thing. Once you get to this part of the season, once you get into March, the ability to find really, really profitable bets with projections, right? With origination projections, a bottom-up approach, in my opinion, it becomes far more significant than early in the year. And if you're wondering why, I think the answer is quite simple. And you will see this too. You will also see this over at the ARB tool, right? When you look at the arbitrage tool, you're going to see, this is on OddsShopper. That's 15% off too. If you'd rather use Portfolio EV, get the odds screen and the arbitrage tool in the live in-game. If you'd rather that over the prop tool, Loughy 15 will get you 15% off that as well. But what you're going to start seeing is really significant liquidity popping up in certain markets, certain NBA prop markets, and they're going to create arbitrage opportunities so these sharks can get orders filled on these peer-to-peer exchanges. And then you're going to find out that they had a beat on certain things before any of us did, right? That this guy was going to sit on a tanking team, or this guy was going to get additional minutes today on a team that has nothing to play for, so on and so forth. Start to see a whole lot more of that later in the season. There's a lot more ambiguity, when there's a lot more question marks heading into each game with each team, right? Because that's when the bottom-up approach can really dominate. That's when the top-down approach, in my opinion, takes a bit more of a backseat role, because the markets, even the sharpest books, are going to have a tougher time pricing these, and they're going to have a tougher time accounting for a lot of these injuries. And that's how you can get hung up, and that's how you can get caught, which is why that blend is so important. So keep that in mind. Right? And you're going to see a lot of this. If you use this ARB screen that we do, I use it a lot to try and spot smart money. That's one of the things that stands out to me. You get into March, early April, late March, a lot of these spots, you're going to scratch your head and go, oh, that's weird. And then you're going to find out later in the day that you got massive CLV on it because the market shifted huge when the player was out. Or it just comes out later in the day that this guy's going to start. Usually comes off the bench, right? It's kind of like there are things here that we see and these sharps know before we ever do. When it comes to basketball, I'm certainly not afraid to admit that I don't mind riding coattails in spots like that. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing to keep in mind. A lot of ways to be profitable with these tools during the NBA season, and you can use them differently depending on what part of the season you're in. So anyway, have any questions, always hit me up in the comments here on YouTube. Come follow me over on Twitter at Loughy. Hit me up in the DMs. We're open there all the time. And join the Discord when you do decide to sign up. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next one over on X and right here live on the OddsShopper YouTubes. Bye bye.